There was a time where if you were a wrestling fan in the UK, you didn't just have the WWE, you had a whole channel dedicated to wrestling. Different styles, different countries, even British wrestling getting a proper platform again. But despite all that, the wrestling channel didn't last. So, what happened? Hello everyone, I'm Josh Faulkner, stand-up comedian and professional wrestler of 15 years. If you enjoy real stories from inside British wrestling, make sure to drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram at The Wrestling Comedian. I'm also over on TikTok at Wrestling Comedian, and today we're talking about something that a lot of fans remember, but not everyone understands, the story of the Wrestling Channel. So the Wrestling Channel, or TWC as it was also known, launched in the early 2000s on Sky, and for UK fans at the time, this felt massive, because before that your wrestling options were pretty limited. WWE on Sky Sports, maybe the odd bit of WCW before it folded, and that was about it. Then suddenly, you had a full channel. And this is where TWC really stood out. It wasn't just one company, it was a mix of everything. Early TNA wrestling when it was still weekly pay-per-views, classic World of Sport matches, Japanese wrestling, and American independent promotions. But most importantly, fresh British wrestling presented by promotions like FWA, RQW, LDN Wrestling, and Irish Whip Wrestling. And for a lot of those promotions, this was their first real exposure on television. Now, this is the key bit, because for British wrestling, this actually meant something. This wasn't just content, this was visibility. It gave wrestlers a platform, promotions credibility, and fans access to something beyond WWE. And for a generation of fans, this is where they discovered British wrestling. TWC worked because it was different, varied, and genuinely passionate about wrestling. It didn't feel corporate, it felt like a channel made by people who liked wrestling. You could go from a World of Sport match to TNA to a British indie show all in one evening, and that variety was its biggest strength. But that same strength was also a weakness, because the channel lacked consistency with a clear identity and a big mainstream draw. Because let's be honest, outside of TNA, there wasn't a major must-watch product every week. And then there were other issues. Production quality varied massively, some shows looked great, others didn't, and scheduling, well, that could be all over the place. So while hardcore fans loved it, casual fans, they didn't stick around. Ultimately, it comes down to one thing: money. Running a TV channel isn't cheap, and TWC didn't have a major exclusive product, big advertising pool, or enough consistent viewership. Then it rebranded to TWC Fight, but by that point, it felt like it was trying to find its identity too late. Add in competition from WWE getting stronger, the internet starting to become a bigger thing, fans finding wrestling elsewhere, and slowly, the channel faded away. From my perspective as someone who came through British wrestling, TWC was ahead of its time, because what it was trying to do is basically what YouTube and streaming now do perfectly: showcase different promotions, different styles, niche wrestling audiences. But back then, the infrastructure just wasn't there. Even though it didn't last, TWC left a mark. It gave promotions exposure, wrestlers opportunities, fans something different. And for a lot of people, it was their gateway into British wrestling. So the Wrestling Channel didn't fail because it was a bad idea, it failed because it was a good idea at the wrong time. If you remember TWC, let me know in the comments what you used to watch on it, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on the other social media channels: Instagram at The Wrestling Comedian, TikTok Wrestling Comedian, and I'll see you on the next one.